If you're thinking about skipping your GLP-1 medicine, whether you're on Ozempic or Zepbound, just to enjoy a big meal during the holidays, well, you're not alone. But we need to talk about it because that one decision could snowball into way more regret than relief. In this video, I'm going to discuss some of the big decisions you need to make to keep you on track during the holidays. Hi, I'm Dr. JJ Mayo. I'm a registered dietitian, and I work with GLP-1 users every day. And I get it. That's the reason I want to make this video. It's Thanksgiving week, and the 2025 holiday season is in full effect. Around the holidays, I hear the same thing. I want to eat my food like a normal person, and that's a totally valid point. But here's the truth. You can celebrate, eat delicious food, and connect with your family without ghosting your meds or letting go of the rope completely. Whether you call it letting go of the rope, whether you call it falling off the wagon, putting on the feed bag, but let's talk about how we can do that and stay on track. The reason I created the video is I was scrolling through my news feed this week and I saw a headline that says 40% of GLP-1 users plan to either skip or adjust their dose of their medication for Thanksgiving. And again, there's no judgment for me, but I'm like, okay, this is something that really needs to be talked about more. And 74% of those surveyed said they just wanted to enjoy their food more. And honestly, I get it. You know, and during the holidays, you know, hey, it's the cornbread dressing. That's what we call it here in the South. You got the mac and cheese, all the casseroles, the cranberry sauce, all the food is there. And maybe it's your aunt's sweet potato pie that really only happens once a year. I would love to know, since we're talking about food, what is your favorite holiday food? Just drop it in the comments below. I'd love to know. So here's what worries me though, and what we need to talk about. More than half of those that are skipping their meds were explicitly told by their doctor not to. And let's just go ahead and bust this myth. Skipping your GLP-1 to enjoy a holiday meal isn't harmless. But at the end of the day, it's your choice, it's your body. These medicines work, as you know, because you've been on them. They work by regulating your blood sugar, slowing digestion, and helping you feel fuller and fuller faster. When you skip a dose, your blood sugar could spike to crazy levels. If you suddenly flood your system with a bunch of sugar and fat, like we tend to do on the holidays, it's not just about appetite suppression, it's about metabolic regulation. Turning it off for a week is like pulling the plug on a system that's been protecting your progress. Not only could you have fast weight regain, but my worries is that it can increase the odds of you not wanting to restart the medicine at all. You're like, oh, I'm enjoying the food and that's okay if I gain some weight back. And so you just don't restart it. And to me, that's concerning. So again, these are decisions you need to think about. Now, I get it, what you're saying, JJ, but I don't want to feel sick or not enjoy my favorite foods. And that's again, I get what you're saying, but here's a smarter option. How about adjusting the day, not the dose? You could move your shot to Wednesday or even Tuesday of Thanksgiving week or a holiday week so that by Thursday, let's say, the appetite suppressing effects aren't as strong. That way you can enjoy a bit more food, but not feel overly full or nauseous. And if your celebration isn't, say, on a Thursday, then adjust it or time your dose so that it doesn't peak on the big meal day, whatever day that is. And again, you should always talk to your prescriber if you're unsure, but that slight adjustment could really go a long way. It's a mindset shift, like you're not going to eliminate it, but you're just going to move it to a different day. And again, you should always talk to a provider and your provider on this. So let's get real. Some people see the holidays as a green light to let go of the rope. You've been consistent for weeks, months, you've lost a bunch of weight, and now the holiday foods hit and the table is set with all these foods and boom, it's a buffet bender. Buffet bender. But here's the deal. Using this week as a reason to overeat doesn't give you the relief that you think it will. It's just going to trigger guilt, bloating, and regret the next day. You don't have to white knuckle your way through the holidays. But I also don't want you to use this as self-sabotage either. Eat the mashed potatoes, enjoy your dessert, but listen to your body. And let's specifically talk more about the food. I always recommend my GLP clients eat smaller meals, more frequent meals, and as you know, some of these holiday dishes are more likely to trigger your GLP-1 side effects like nausea, bloating, indigestion. And here's what to watch out for. Any of these super creamy, rich casseroles that are particularly like dairy heavy, you could also get triggered by these sweet desserts like pecan pie, fried appetizers, fatty meats, alcohol intake. Heavy alcohol intake could be a problem for you over the holidays. So try to balance your plate with lean protein, some veggies, and a salad to start your meal if possible. If you know something that tends to upset your stomach, a lot of you do. What upsets your stomach on the meds? You may want to skip that, dish around this time. So here's what I tell my clients. I want you to build a strategy, not a plate. If you know you'll overdo on the food a bit, make sure you're doing everything else right. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're getting a walk in. Make sure you're prioritizing your sleep. Including that protein with your meals is going to stabilize your blood sugar. It's going to help you stay on track, even if you're adjusting the day you're taking your dose. Doing all of these behaviors are going to keep your system stable and your mindset solid. So you can say, I'm still going to have a little more food maybe than I normally do, but I'm going to do all these other things right. You don't have to be perfect, but let's stay intentional. And I want to address one other important stressor that I see I've been talking with my clients a lot about, and that's explaining your low appetite to your family or your weight loss. These discussions I'm having right now, does your family know? You need to think about this in advance. So does your family know you're on the medicine? So you're getting to this big gathering, and how are you going to handle questions like someone asking you didn't eat very much, what's wrong? Or, wow, you've lost a lot of weight, how are you doing it? I encourage you to plan what you're going to say. If you're not eating a ton, you might feel pressure to have to justify this. And here's the truth. You don't owe anybody an explanation. Anyone else in your family that are like food pushers, like I have some, you just have to be ready. And one line I like to use is, hey, everything looks great. I'm just going to pace myself. Try that at this holiday gathering and this season. And this is going to keep your GLP-1 journey in progress intact, and then just make you feel comfortable, because that's the idea, is just to feel comfortable at what your decisions are going to be. The bottom line is it's your health journey, and your health journey doesn't take a holiday. You can absolutely enjoy them and stay on track, but you got to make intentional choices. You got to keep the meds in play and not give them up, and give yourself grace without giving up that progress. If you want more guidance on what specifically to eat on the meds, then you want to check out this video I created. It's the 10 best foods for GLP-1 users. I've linked it up here above, and let's make this holiday about celebration and family and smart choices. You got this.